Hello and welcome back to Newsroom Nigeria. This is where we give you hot, fresh, and sizzling news all day long. If this is your first time here, or you haven't subscribed to this channel, please make sure you subscribe, like this video, also leave your opinions in the comment section below as well. Staff members of Nigeria's Federal Ministry of Education have shed light on issues that led to President Bola Tinubu's decision to dismiss Professor Tahir Mamman from his role as Minister of Education. Newsroom Nigeria reports that Professor Mamman, along with four other ministers, was removed from office on Wednesday. The other dismissed officials include Barrister Uju Ken Ohaneye, Minister of Women Affairs, Lola Adejon, Minister of Tourism, Abdullahi Mohammed Gwazo, Minister of House, Minister for State for Housing and Urban Development, and Dr. Jamila Bao Ibrahim, Minister of Youth Development. Speaking with Sahara reporters, a ministry insider suggested that Mamman's removal was partly due to his alleged refusal to settle long-standing salary arrears owed to certain ministry employees. About a month or two ago, it was widely reported that he was among the least performing ministers. Many years of arrears remain unpaid despite numerous promises, the source disclosed, noting that frustrated employees had staged protests over unpaid wages. Another factor reportedly contributing to his dismissal involves Mamman's alleged attempt to install Professor Aisha Makudi, the acting vice chancellor of the University of Abuja, as the university's permanent vice chancellor. The insider explained the appointment of an unqualified vice chancellor might also have contributed to his removal. If news of the improper process reaches the public, it will expose deep-rooted issues in the ministry. Sahara reporters previously reported that the University of Abuja's governing council had allegedly sought to make Professor Maikudi the permanent vice-chancellor, despite her reportedly not meeting all qualifications. Sources indicated that the council had relaxed criteria to facilitate a selection, raising questions over transparency. Further revelations suggest that former Vice-Chancellor Abdulrasheed Nahala may be behind the push for Maikudi's appointment, reportedly to repay a long-standing debt of gratitude to her father, who had previously supported Nahala's controversial appointment as VC 5 years ago. Investigation found that the university's advertisement for the position omitted the typical post-professional experience requirement, making Professor Maikudi, who attained a professorship in 2022, eligible for consideration. What are your thoughts? Let's have them in the comment section below. Before we go, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Number one, from Abdul Hamid Raji. The way he handled the issues of governing councils of tertiary institutions was odd. It was lopsided that the president publicly ordered the withdrawal and review. At that point, he should have resigned honorably. He's a professor and a former DG. Jonah says corruption has been deepening the nation. Even the judiciaries aren't longer guaranteed. Revolution must come to stand. I think one thing about, most people in Nigerian mentality, I would say, is that they believe that when they have that power, they can do and undo. That power moves everything. Because you are the minister, you want to impose someone who is not qualified to become the vice chancellor of a university, or because you are the minister of education. Like, why? Someone who is not qualified, you just want to impose her in that position, whereas there are other people who are qualified, who are qualified for the criteria. They have all of the criteria, all of the qualifications that they needed to have, But yet, because of favoritism, because you know this person personally, you know the father, so you want to impose her to become the vice chancellor. And I would say another wrong move that this man made was when he announced that if you are not 18, you cannot get an admission into the university. That was like number one mistake, because back then like almost, I mean, more than 10 years, 20 years ago, you would find people of like 17 years old who would gain admission, who would write jam and then gain admission into the university. Not to talk of now that, even people leaving the primary school, people are now leaving primary school at the age of 8, 7. Now, okay, what if they finish secondary school by the age of, let's say, 15, 16, 17? So they will need to now finish writing all their examination, and then they will go back home to sit down and wait until they are 18 years old. That was a wrong move from him, because how as a minister of education, it is believed that you should know better. You should know better than to announce that kind of statement. You're already in the system. If you are in the education system, you would know this already. By even the intake into the secondary school self, they are now looking very smallish, very small. It is the age is getting reduced by the year. As the year goes by, it is getting more reduced. People are now very quick with education. Education is not as slow as it used to be. Not to talk of when those days when they will say if your hand is not touching your other ear, you are not going to enter. You are not going to gain admission into primary school. But these days, even from primary school, if you are brilliant, you can get double promotion, and before you know it, you are in secondary school. So you now need to go and sit at home and be doing what until you are 18 years old to now gain admission. That's not sensible. You all, let me have your thoughts in the comment section. What do you all think about all of this? Before we go, let's take this comment from Matthias. It says, the final consequences of someone bereaved of innovation in the 21st century digital age. Exactly. Is bereaved of that innovation. He wants to introduce bricklaying, hairdressing, shoe mending, and not coding in our curriculum. The educational system ought to be moving forward. Now you want to take us back. You want to take us back like 50 years. You want to take us back to 50 years. When other countries, in China, a primary school student can even can assemble torchlights, can make torchlights, can make toy cars. But in Nigeria, you want to start teaching people how to do bricklayer, hairdressing. Maybe he thinks it's in the northern part of the country. Saudu Mohammed says, to me, his policy on age restriction of JAMB and WAEC makes him to deserve the sack. Exactly what I just said. Because how can you, as a Ministry of Education, you should know better. How can you say that if you are not 18 years old, you cannot gain admission into, or you cannot even write JAMB or WAEC, you cannot gain admission? That shows that it doesn't have prerequisites to even be the Minister of Education, to me. Lastly, Dele Aina says, okay, let me get you right. Was he given the money and he refused to pay? Or he was supposed to source for it? Because I'm confused. Which money are you talking about, Dele Aina? You all, thank you very much for always listening and watching. I will see you in my next video.